Hey fellas, Drew here. I'm going to take a look at my next model kit that I've been working on. This is the Academy 172 B-24 Liberator. As you can see from the cover markings, it comes in the one of the Zodiac squadron markings. This is Gemini. I've actually decided to go with a different scheme, and I'll explain why to you here in a minute. Let's take a look at what we have, and you can see some pictures on the side of the box. It's kit number 2168. I picked this up off of eBay because it's a limited edition kit, and you really don't see these in stores anymore. I'm not sure the date. But yeah, doesn't have the date on the box, but let's take a look at what we have. Show you the directions first. Gives you a little history of the Zodiac Squadron, and that we're based in England, of course part of the 8th Air Force. They're part of the 486 bomb group. And it's a little bit of history for this particular airplane. And you see that nice fold-out instructions. Start with the gun assembly in the cockpit, and putting the fuselage together, putting the bomb racks in. Okay. So it looks like 15 steps. Okay. Wing assembly, and then final adding the tail section. And here is the paint scheme, color callouts. For the Zodiac Squadron, for this particular plane, it was olive drab over neutral gray. And then you have a parts diagram. I'm still trying to find a kit date, so I'm not sure how old it is, but anyway. Okay, so we got clear parts. That's going to show up very well, but clear parts look nice. A lot of masking for the bombers. We have our fuselage. This has nice recessed panel lines. I don't see any flash at all in the kit. I do see one little pinhole there on that on the front wheel assembly, so that should be easy fix. Just add a little putty to it and smooth it off. You can see some of the details on the rudders and the fuselage. Okay. See the two wheels there. Okay, that's the first sprayer pulled out. And the next one is going to be our engines and cowling and the propellers, tails, the bombs. And you got your machine guns here. Several machine guns there. For the looks like for the ball turret and top turret and the front turret. So I have machine guns here as well. Looks like for the waist gunners. Engine's not incredibly detailed, but probably paint those in metallic gray and just do a little dry brushing with some metal color. Okay, and then you can see the engine cowlings there. Okay. One more sprue here. Here you have your wing assemblies and this sprue, and these sprues. Okay. And so again, straightforward. Have nice, nice panels, nice recessed panel lines. So, okay. All right. And the decals. There's the date on the decals, 1995. I'm not sure if I like the looks of these. Honestly, they look kind of old, and the the Gemini nose art, it's not particularly clear. So I actually decided to go with another scheme, and let me show you what I like to do with it. I read this book recently called Wings of Morning, and it's about the story of the last American bomber shot down over Germany in World War II. And I thought it was a really compelling story. And you know, when you read general histories of the 8th Air Force or World War II in general, you know, you always hear the horrific casualty rates for bomber crews, and both the American and British bomber crews. But when you read a book like this that's specific, you learn about the men, and you learn about what life was like in their camps in England, and just kind of what you get to know them a little bit more personally. It was really a tragic story. Obviously, a lot of the bomber crews they lost their lives, and this particular crew. This particular bomber, it was toward the end of the war. They were flying what the bomber crews called a milk run, and they had to abort the mission due to heavy cloud cover. So the lead bomber, the lead navigator, who basically made the decisions and everybody had to follow, decided he was going to take the 466 crew, the 466 bomb wing crew. They're bombers. He was going to take a return trip back over Regensburg, Germany, which was heavily defended. And a lot of the navigators and the other planes objected to it, but they have to follow orders. And for whatever reason, he took them over a lot of anti-aircraft flak areas. So this bomber took a hit and went down. And all but 2 of the crew survived. And the author of this book, his uncle was the radio operator, so he wanted to learn more about it, and it's just a compelling story. But the bomber they flew in, find a picture here, was called the Black Cat, and you can see the Black Cat logo on that plane there. And there's a lot more pictures of this bomber on the internet, and I'll have those posted. So I did a search, and it took me about 2 minutes on eBay, and I did find the markings for this aircraft. And so I got these real cheap off eBay, so I think I'd like to do this bomber. And it's going to be a natural metal bomber, and natural metal finish, so it'll be something different for me to do a natural metal big plane. So I'm going to go get started on it, and thanks for watching, and I'll come back with an update. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Hey guys, this will be my reveal video of the Academy 172 B-24 Liberator. And overall it was a pretty good kit. Didn't have a lot of fit issues. It just takes a long time to build these big bombers. As I mentioned, I used a different scheme that came with the kit. I built this as the black cat, and actually the decals only came with one, so I actually made another decal for this side using my printer. Okay. And overall metal color was the Vallejo metal color aluminum. I also used Tamiya aluminum to, it might be hard to pick up on the camera, but to mask off some panel lines to give it a little bit different shading here and there. I mixed a little bit of gray in with the Tamiya aluminum to give it some shading differences. Okay. I built it. Whoop. That's one of the bad things about these bombers. You tend to break stuff off. Well, I'll have to replace that. Just lost one of the nose guns. Okay. For all the clear parts, I instead of masking it, I just used a paintbrush and painted the aluminum paint on, and then took a cocktail stick and just kind of scraped around, and it doesn't look too bad. It could do better. Probably should mask next time. Okay. I built it with the doors open, and on the B-24 the doors rolled up like that, so that way you can see the bomb bay. I didn't heavily weather it. I just made some oil wash. I made an oil wash of a little bit of Payne's Gray with some raw umber to give it a little bit of a dirt effect. I did cram a ton of weight in the front, but it still wasn't quite enough to get it to sit at level, so I had to, on the skid right here, I just put a little clump of poster tack so it sits up. Okay. You can see the waist guns. And rear turret. And then the top turret. See the landing gear, superchargers with exhaust. It's kind of one of those models where you start it and you're really glad to see it finished, because again, there's a lot to these, and it just takes a lot of time, which I don't have a ton of time to devote to the bench. So it's more or less just working on the weekends. But overall, I'm pretty satisfied with it. There's always things I could do a little bit better. One of the things when you do a natural metal, it really brings out the flaws. So looking at making sure that it's really smooth. I saw once I painted it, like some scratches and stuff that I didn't quite get smooth. And also, I had to rescribe panel lines after sanding because the joints weren't all that great. And then making sure you smooth those, get those smoothed. But there she is. This is, again, I'll have the historical information on the slideshow. Alright, so if we get started on my next model soon, and I'll do a little preview video on that. I wanted something a little light and easy. And, well, let me just show you. I was at my local model shop and picked this little guy up. Let me turn it so you can read it. This is the Airfix 172 Wildcat. And I've built the 148 Wildcat, but I really like the 172 kits as well. As long as I can see and my hands are still functional. These are pretty little, but they're a lot of fun to build. So I'll do a little unboxing here soon. Alright guys, thank you. Take care.